mal de cargo, de bateaux, etc. On sent que la civilisation approche. C'est bien, ça va vite. Ça va être passionnant parce que ça va être une bonne régate avec les bateaux du groupe.
I think Louis Burton did a fantastic option there in the north, managing to get on the other side of the ridge. C'est la poursuite infernale. Allez, on va les rattraper. Non, on va rien lâcher, rien lâcher, rien lâcher. Ça, c'est sûr. That's a bit of destiny also, what comes out of this.
Well, indeed, what comes out, it's all down to destiny at the moment for the leaders of the Vendée Globe. It's day 75. Welcome to our live show in English today. And the one thing that is probably sure, this will be the last Friday show before the winners come into Les Sables d'Olonne. Who that winner will be, well, it's absolutely in the balance. Might be between the top three, might be between the top five, might be between the top nine. My guest today on the plateau is Antoine Grenapin, our French rédacteur, expert sailing writer, and indeed many other sports. Welcome, Antoine. And also live with us, we have Giovanni Soldini, Italian skipper of Maserati, multiple ocean record holder. Giovanni, ciao, how are you?
How are you? Very well, thank you.
Good stuff. Now listen, hopefully in 1 second we can join Boris Herrmann. But you, Giovanni, you're instrumental in Boris being on the Vendée Globe. He met Pierre Casaraghi on board one of your programs.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time with Boris, and all the team Maserati is very happy of his race, so that's wonderful.
Listen, just before we speak to him, tell us, what do you think of Boris? What are his main characteristics?
Well, Boris is a very serious navigator, and he's really, little bit German, but with a nice spirit, and he's a great guy, really. I think we have a lot of experience together. We went around Cape Horn together during the New York San Francisco record, for example, and I really enjoy sailing with Boris, and I think it was a great team. So I'm very happy to see him so well in the Vendée Globe.
Indeed, Giovanni. 1 second, let's connect you with Boris Herrmann on board Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco. Hopefully we'll catch him in just 1 second. But so Giovanni, does final miles, this sprint to the finish, does Boris need to have a little bit of Italian in his head for the finish, or is it German, or what's he need to do?
I think it's really good like that, and he's perfectly in the race, and it's just I know him that he will study very well the situation about the wind and the meteo, and I'm sure he will do a great race until the end.
Good. You've been following the race very closely then with Boris, have you?
Yeah, absolutely. Was really nice to follow this Vendée Globe, really.
And what's impressed you most about the way he's raced?
I just managed to have a calmer, a good race in the Southern Ocean, and to came out of Cape Horn with a perfect boat with no damage, and that's, I think, is the keys. I mean, he was very well with his boat, and he tried not to break anything, and that's is a great success, I think, because now he have the boat 100%, and he can do really well in the end.
Giovanni, just wait 1 second. We're just going to have a quick rundown through the rankings at midday today. Well, Charlie Dallin is leading now, but it come back from Louis Burton. Louis Burton's been quick since during last night, really. He's doing 17 knots. He's caught up to within 18.7 miles of Charlie, and Louis is at 31.29 north, Charlie Dallin at 30 north. Boris Herrmann's in third now. He was second earlier on. He's at 65.1 miles behind the leader, slightly slowed into the high-pressure anticyclone ridge just now is Boris, but doing 11.4 knots. Thomas Rion going well, 16.6 knots. He is 106 miles behind the leader. Damien Sagan still going nicely in that easterly position in fifth place. Yannick Bessave in sixth. He's slowed just now on the midday ranking, doing 7.7 knots. And Giancarlo Padotti in seventh, their Italian skipper, at 16.1 knots. He's 209.4 miles behind. And Jean Le Cam, we're always watching his mileage, the delta to the leader. He's at 3:35. Remember, he has 16 hours and 15 minutes of recompense in his pocket. So that may affect the outcome. Anyway, that's Jean Le Cam in eighth, Benjamin Dutroux in ninth. He is now 65 miles behind Jean Le Cam. Maxime Sorel in 10th, a big gap, 229 miles between him and Benjamin Dutroux in front, and just about 200 miles behind to Armel Tripon. Armel Tripon doing 13.5 knots. Then looking down our rankings, just to catch up with our internationals, Alan Ruras now in 16th, Arnaud Boissy ahead of him. Pip here is in 17th, for those of you who've not been following. Pip has climbed her mast, has put her anemometer back in place, or she's repaired her anemometer, so she's back with full wind instruments and is going well, doing 10.1 knots this morning. Didac Costa and Kojiro Shiraishi, Kojiro 10.8 knots and about just over 100 miles ahead of Didac. Didac catching slightly, doing 12.8 knots. And then on the second or third page, Miranda Meron 14.2 knots and Alexia Barry and Ari Hosela both approaching Cape Horn. So that's the rankings. I think we have Boris Herrmann hopefully online with us on board Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco. Boris, how are you? Hello, Boris.
Hi, Andy. Yeah, I hear you very well. The satellite connection is not so good here, close to the equator. Maybe I don't know why, but you might not see me. But I hear you well, and I hear Giovanni. So, ciao, Giovanni. Ciao, Joe. Nice to hear you. Nice to meet you here.
Giovanni, say a few words to Boris then.
Yes, we are here. I am in the boat yard on board Maserati, and all the team is watching you, and we are very happy of your race. So go ahead for the last days and be strong.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, and say hi to all your team, everyone. And yeah, I carry the best memories of sailing with all our adventures that we have done together with me here.
Boris, just tell me, so Giovanni was instrumental to your program. You met on board, Pierre Casaraghi on board Maserati.
Yes, we had we did a race from Cape Town to Rio in 2013. And the Cape to Rio race, we won the race. We also established a record. I think the record still stands, 10 days and 11 hours or something like that. And yeah, it was, we went through a massive cold front in the beginning with some damage to the boat, and Pierre's, the boat had a leak in the deck, and the stacking stanchion broke through the deck from the impact of a big wave. And it came down onto Pierre's chest, and he was fully on the water in his bunk at the end of his off watch. So big adventure there. Luckily everything went well, and then we had a run to Rio, and it was one of the most enjoying. So much fun together. And yeah, a great adventure, and that's where we met, and then since then we started a friendship and did all kinds of trips or little sailing races together till 3 years later only we started Team Alizia.
So Boris, tell me what you've learned particularly from Giovanni in terms of running programs on a small budget.
Well, a couple of he is a great, smart racing sailor on all fronts. The engineering side. He's a good friend of Guillaume Verdier. He told me if he would ever do a Vendée Globe, he would only do it on a Verdier boat. So luckily, I have a Verdier boat now, a Verdier VPLP boat. And he, then working together, he has this kind of. There's always some laugh in the team and a good spirit, and it's a little bit rock and roll. You know, he says I'm a bit German, but I think he changed me a lot in these years, and I'm maybe the least German of all Germans now after 5 years with him, and yeah, it has really had a big impact on me. Also, seeing how he runs a pretty consequent project with reasonable means. So, you know, we had the Volvo 70, or all the people, all the guys stand by in New York and expensive cities, but he managed to run the whole thing on a small budget and in a great spirit. So that's something we really copied with Team Malizia to say it's possible to do more with less, and to do it despite not having all these millions and all the great team and 15 preparateurs and all that. So we that gave us the courage, Pierre and I, to say we can do it anyway, even if we don't have the big sponsor.
That's super cool. Giovanni, a few more words with Boris then.
Yeah, I think in the years that we sail together, we all understand that to put together different people, different culture is always a great idea, and I think we all learn a lot. And for sure, for me to stay with Boris 5 years like that, he teach me a lot of things, and I'm really happy that he's now doing a fantastic Vendée like this one. And I really want to see him in the Sabdolon and to congratulate.
Super duper. Antoine has got a question for you, Boris.
Yes, Boris, we see that you make an incredible race. Can you just explain to us how will look like the next hours of your race?
Yeah, the next hours are very critical. It could be that in the next 6 or 12 hours the race could be a little bit pre-decided. So if I keep a good breeze and speed, at the moment I'm doing 16, 17 knots. If I can keep this also with a good course, north-northeast, and can soak into the stronger breeze that is a bit to the north of the high pressure. If I can line up in that breeze and keep the same distance to Charlie, that would be a big relief. The opposite would be if I get stuck. The wind here eases off, just 70 miles behind Charlie Dalin, and I get stuck and they go away. That could mean that things come out very differently, because there's Thomas Rouillon, Yannick and Damien. They are all on a very nice line, and if I see them going 16 knots, you know, that can very quickly change the page. And between place 6 and place 3, I think there's absolutely nothing is decided today. And yeah, we have kind of a restart of the Vendée Globe 5 days before the arrival, which is absolutely incredible, and it has never happened like that before. For midday and breeze, stronger breeze condition, and looking forward then to driving north and finding pretty big sea state, maybe 4 meters tomorrow evening in the night. And yeah, then we are back to like sailing like in the Southern Ocean a bit.
So, Boris, you said the other day you were a little bit scared of breaking things. What's your kind of mental state now in terms of the final days?
Yeah, my mental state is much better than previously, because I managed to sleep last night. The wind was more stable. The 2 nights before, the wind had been very unstable, and now, now I have dream conditions. It's a little bit chilly, just the right temperature, blue ocean, flat sea. I have 12, 13 knots of breeze, and the boat goes 17, 18 knots. I mean, this is incredible. These foiling IMOCAs, they just fly in this, especially my boat. And I think Apivia would be even a bit quicker in the exact same position if he would be right next to me. So yeah, these modern generation IMOCAs are so cool boats, and these foils work really well in these conditions. So my mental state is better than it could be. It couldn't be better today.
Excellent, Boris. Good news. Giovanni, do you want to finish with Boris before we leave him?
Yeah, Boris, just keep sailing and be confident. I think the race is far to be finished, but you do really a great job. So see you soon.
Thank you, Boris.
Yeah, see you soon. Thank you, Joe. All the best.
All the best.
Good for you, Boris. I think you sailed the last bit with a little bit of Italian, a little bit of German, a little bit of French in you, eh?
And a little bit of Monegasque also.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Good stuff, Boris. We'll speak to you soon. All the best.
Ciao, ciao.
So there we go, Boris Herrmann in great spirits, speaking with Giovanni Soldini, as say, who was the catalyst really that put the Team Milizia, Boris's team and Pierre Casaragi's team together a long time ago, and reaping the benefits just now. And we know that there's going to be a big finish one way or another for them. So let me go to Antoine. Antoine, now then, you spoke to a few skippers this morning. Jean Le Cam, how is he?
Yes, of course, and that was really interesting because Jean, for the first time, talked about what can happen after the arrival, and we know that the sailors start to think about it. And Jean, for the first time, says that he's scared in a way that it's too much powerful, too much emotion, and to don't know really how to deal with it. So we will see. It will be really interesting to don't see just the arrival, but even what's happened after.
Indeed, and I think Boris is in that same kind of mindset, just wondering about the external forces and everything that's going on, and being in this match where it's really, really hard to focus on that. We had Charlie Dallin on the French show. Let's have a look at Charlie. He seems to be keeping fairly cool.
Non, ça va. Je continue à mener
the same pace as
mon
usual.
bateau sur le même rythme que d'habitude, pour le moment en tout cas.
Keeping a steady rhythm just
la
before
phase
the final
du bon
sprint.
moment pour lancer le sprint. Mais voilà, pour l'instant, je continue à naviguer à un rythme soutenu mais normal, on va dire.
So, and he's talking about he's in a duel with Louis.
Avec Louis, il y a Boris qui est
Boris
pas
is
loin
not far
derrière.
behind him, and it
Voilà,
looks
ça
very
s'annonce,
close.
Le finish s'annonce assez serré. Voilà, j'ai hâte de pouvoir retrouver
So he's looking forward to getting back onto port tack to get on his starboard foil.
Potentiel. Mais en tout cas, non, tout va bien. Voilà, je suis en forme. Là, je longe les hautes pressions.
He's saying he's
voilà,
on form generally.
Donc voilà, les conditions sont pas super stables.
Conditions are not super stable, but generally it's pretty fine. So apart from his foil, he doesn't have too many other problems.
Mais voilà, à part le problème de foil, je suis pas très handicapé.
A little bit handicapped. The boat might be a bit tired,
Mes systèmes fonctionnent.
but everything else is working and his sails are
Je
okay.
croise les doigts pourvu que ça dure jusqu'à l'arrivée. Mais ouais, mon principal point handicapant, ça reste mes foils bâbord.
So there we go, Charlie Dallin, the race leader. Anything else you picked up from Charlie speaking to him today, Antoine?
Yeah, first of all, we need to notice that the boat is okay, and it's the same for Boris and for Louis Burton. So the finish will be really interesting. Now the three of them are in that little corridor that Louis Burton was the first to catch, and now they will try to be pushed by another depression. Normally it will be in 1 or 2 days, so that three sailors have a little advantage to the others.
Here's hoping. Let's go back to Giovanni Soldini. Giovanni, you've never done the Vendée Globe before. Does it appeal in the future?
No, I don't think so. I'm too old.
John Le Cam is 61.
Jan can do these kind of things, but he's a Superman.
But listen, you're on your boat just now. Just give us a quick tour of the Maserati.
We are in the yard. We just finished the paint of the boat, to paint the boat, and now we put together the boat again. So it's a big job. It's a big job, but we're nearly finished.
Now listen, do you know Giancarlo Padotti?
Yeah. I know Giancarlo, obviously. I mean, we never sailing together, but never sailing before together. But I know him, and I followed him during the Mini Transat, and I think he's a great sailor too. And he's doing a great race too. So I just, I think the race is not finished, obviously, and will be very tricky in the next few days.
Indeed.
And it's just wonderful.
Wonderful it is. Let's have a look at Giancarlo this morning. Giancarlo Padotti on the Prismian group. He's on good form and really enjoying being in the match. He's only focusing on his boat, and that's it.
I feel very well. So now the wind goes slowly on the right, to the south, and we need to cut this high pressure zone for going to the north, and then we take the low pressure area that comes from low pressure. Will be possible to go until the harbor of Le Cap d'Olonne.
Perfect. Now listen, do you look at the courses of your competitors, or you're just looking at the route for Group Prismian and yourself?
Both. So close to the other competitors that is interesting to see them meet your situation. And after I do my personal routing, and I also care about the other guys.
And do you think you can still get to the podium, or what?
I don't know. I just try to do all my best until the finish, and then we'll see.
Good. And do you have
everything is possible on the sea?
It is indeed.
But I don't think about.
Yeah. Do you have everything you need to do the job? You have all your sails, everything you need to finish, or do you have any worries?
Indeed, I have everything, and I'm very happy.
Good for
you.
Also,
I have special dishes to eat. So happy man in the Atlantic North Ocean.
So there we go. Giovanni, one of the things about Giancarlo's race is he's made a point of taking lots of good Italian food with him. That's been important.
Absolutely. I think it's very important. And I think that Giancarlo is, we can see that every day he's really happy to be there, to be in his boat and to take part on this Vendée Globe. And that is wonderful. I mean, it's just perfect, because I think it's the keys of his success is that he's always really in a good spirit.
Excellent. Giovanni, I've got one question from the internet for you, and it's a kind of global question. How is the popularity of sailing in Italy at the moment? I mean, you've got Giovanni and the Vendée Globe, you've got Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli and the America's Cup. It must be a little bit of a peak in Italy at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We really hope that Luna Rossa can do a great race too, and that will be fantastic for all the sailing in Italy, for sure. Many people follow the Vendée Globe, I think, and so it's just very nice. The only problem is the COVID, that is not easy to live with, you know. So, but I think it's a great moment for Italian sailing.
Indeed. a great moment for sailing as a sport, I think. Giovanni, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you, and hopefully we might see you in Les Sables d'Olonne or somewhere nice over the course of 2021. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So that's pretty much all we have time for today on the Vendée Globe Live. If you'd like to join us tomorrow, our guest will be Alex Pea, the Route de Rome winner, and who just won the transatlantic race, one of Spain's top offshore racers. Any questions for Alex, do put them online on our Facebook, Twitter or Instagram pages. And of course, thank you very much indeed to Antoine for joining me once again. We'll see you again tomorrow.